What is discipline? Because a lot of people think, and they don't like the word discipline, they think you have to be disciplined forever. It's not about being disciplined forever. It's about moments of exercising your discipline. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Success Spectrum Podcast. I'm your host, Kadeem, and today we're talking about how to overcome debt. So I'm going to give you 4 key strategies on how to do exactly that. The first strategy is repayment, your repayment strategy. And there's different methods you can utilize in this area. You've heard of the snowball effect before, which is you look at whichever one you're paying the least amount on, right? Whatever is the lowest minimum payment, or rather the lowest outstanding debt. Pay that one off first, right? So by the way, disclaimer, make sure you pay the minimum on all of your debts at the very least, because if you don't, it's going to affect your credit. We're not talking about that right now, but if you pay the minimum on all of your debt, whichever one has the lowest outstanding. So say you have a card for $3,000 outstanding, another for $5,000, and another for $10,000. You want to pay off that $3,000 debt first, according to the snowball method. And then once you pay that one off, whatever you were paying towards that $3,000 can now go towards that $5,000 debt. And once you pay that off, you can now go towards that $10,000 debt, right? So again, as you pay them off, it gets bigger, hence a snowball, right? As it rolls, it gets bigger. Another method, which I more so vouch for, is the avalanche method. And this one is you take the highest interest that you have, the loan with the highest interest, and you pay that one off first. And then you work down the ladder, similar to the snowball, just in opposite order, right? An avalanche comes from the top, and essentially it does build up as it goes down. But you want to make sure you are paying the highest interest debt first. And why is that? Because you're saving yourself money when you look at it from that perspective. Your debt costs you money. And specifically, it costs you that interest. So if you have a $1,000 card, let me make it more simple. You have a $100 card, right? $100 outstanding, and your interest is 50%. That means you're paying $50 every year, because they're going to stretch. It's per annum normally, right? Per annual. Now they're going to take that 50 divided by 12, of course. So that $50 divided by 12, and that's your payment each month, your interest payment. So we're talking about $100, but multiply that out, of course. Or if it was $1,000, if it was $10,000, the loans or the interest is costing you money. Debt costs you money. Newsflash. And I know you know this, but again, debt costs you money. So that's why you want to start with the higher interest first, according to the avalanche method, and pay off the higher interest and then work your way down, of course. So repayment is the first strategy. You want to take into consideration your minimum payment. So say you have both $10,000 outstanding debts. One of them is 5%. But the minimum required payment per month is $500. You have another debt, like I said, that's the same amount, $10,000 outstanding, but it's 20% interest. However, they're only charging you $100 in terms of the minimum payment per month. Paying off that $500 payment per month is probably better for you as opposed to paying off that one with the higher interest, right? So you want to take into a consideration that minimum payment, all right? Not to confuse you, but just to give you that disclaimer. The second strategy, leverage credit. And what do we do with this situation? Well, do you have any pre-approvals waiting for you at any of your banks? Because if you do, you can utilize those to now pay off the higher interest debt that you have. You might have a line of credit that's waiting for you. Those are typically lower interest rates. So if you have outstanding credit card debt of 20%, 22%, you can go get that line of credit. They already checked your credit, because it's a pre-approval. You're pre-approved for it. So they don't necessarily have to do a credit check now because you've been pre-approved. So you go in, you get this 11% interest, use that to pay off that credit card and essentially transfer the balance to the new line of credit, right? Do you have any assets that you can utilize to get a secured loan against? Your vehicle, or you can get a HELOC to your home. Right? Do you have any assets in terms of investments that you can do the same with? These are all things to take into consideration instead of just worrying and struggling to pay off this debt on your own. While you're utilizing strategy 1, you can utilize strategy 2 as well, right? So that is another example or strategy you can implement to pay off your debts. To go along with that, you could also do a consolidation loan. Now, disclaimer, some banks, some institutions might require you or say they require you to close your existing accounts to get this consolidation loan. Up to you what you want to do there, but keep in mind, if you close a card that you had for 5+ years, that now lowers your credit age, therefore it's likely going to lower your score. So think about your full scope, the full scope of your situation, and whether or not that makes a big difference for you at this point, but take that into consideration. Do you have a child in your life who loves to color? A niece, a nephew, a son, a daughter, a neighbor? Remember when we grew up, we did A for apple, B for banana, and so on? There's something new in town. It's going to change generations financially. It's called Money Magic, ABC. This is a financial coloring book. They get fun pictures to draw, to color in. But instead of A for apple, we got A for asset. We got B for budget. We got C for crowdfunding. This is going to, while they're enjoying themselves, teach them the financial terms that we didn't know growing up. The financial terms that some of us still don't know. Financial literacy is key and vital. And instead of learning A for apple, learning A for asset at such a young age, it's going to change their financial mindset into the future. They'll be able to start off ahead of the ball, right? Ahead of the game. So go ahead and get yourself a copy and give this gift. Give the gift of financial literacy to your children and the children in your life today. Go ahead and click that link in the description and get yourself a copy. Strategy 3, increase your income. I know it sounds simple, but you can go and you can ask for a raise. You know you've been working like crazy at your job and they're still paying you what they paid you a year ago, 2 years ago, or they're keeping you at basically the lower level of your income bracket, let's say, or rather the budget for your position, because each position has a budget. They don't want to pay you above that budget, but you might be in the middle or closer to the bottom of that budget. Meanwhile, you've been at the company for 5 years, 3 years. So you can go ahead and ask for a raise. And if you don't want to ask for a raise, okay, you can also get a different job, a higher paying job. Because again, you've got skills that you've developed over the years that you can now go apply for a new position somewhere else, and they might pay you more for that position. The other thing you can do is take any items in your home that you're not using or don't need anymore and sell them. Whether it's clothing, whether it's books, whether it's technology, you don't use them anymore, sell them. That can give you a little bit more in your pocket that you can use to now pay down those debts. And in terms of this category, the last one is start a business, right? Again, you like to craft things, you like to make things, you like to take pictures, you're very good at editing photos or videos, you have some hobby that you've been doing. Turn that hobby into a business, or even if you don't turn it into a business, turn it into a little bit of a side gig where you end up getting some money flowing in and you still enjoy the work. Strategy 4, stay out of debt in the first place. All right, just don't get into debt. Again, sounds simpler than it seems or than it actually is. I know, I understand. But if you stay out of debt in the beginning, in the first place, you won't have to be in this situation. So once you do get out of debt, these are some things that can help you to stay out of debt, right? And one of the first things we got to talk about is adjusting your money mindset to be future oriented. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm talking about putting an emergency fund in place, because an emergency fund will help you where you don't need, or you won't feel the need to swipe that credit card, because whatever emergency popped up that you would need to swipe that credit card for, guess what? You have savings put aside somewhere, your emergency fund, that you can use for this situation. So you don't have to swipe that credit card and build up debt, bad debt. That's one way that you can change your money mindset to be more future oriented. Another example is to save a portion of every single dollar you earn. And honestly, you should be doing this anyway. And I would argue no less than 10%. Because here's an example. If you save $50,000, or sorry, if you have, right, your income is $50,000, 50, per year, and you save 10% of that for 10 years, and you save that into an account or a vehicle or an investment that's earning you 8% per year on average, you've only contributed $50,000 over the course of that 10 years, right? Because $5,000 per year. And however, with that compound growth of 8%, you have about $78,000 put aside. So you've gained about $28,000 just from putting away 10% of your dollars. Every single time you earn $1, you put away 10 cents, right? Just from doing that, you've now accumulated an extra $28,000 on top of your $50,000 that you've contributed over the course of 10 years. That's about about a 56% growth. That's a good amount of growth. And why did I choose 8%? Because the S&P 500 has done just a little bit above that over the last decade. So If you save a minimum of 10% of your dollars, it can go a long way over time. Here's the key to that. You have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined and stick to it. If you don't stick to it, there's no point of, if you put away $100 today, cool, great. What does that do for you? Because if you do it today, you don't do it tomorrow, or you don't do it next month, you don't do it in another 3 months, that $100 is not really going anywhere, doing much for you. But if you put away $100 every paycheck now, that can get you somewhere, right? It's not a whole lot, but it's better to have that consistency than to just do it once, because doing it once is not getting you anywhere. It's not helping you. So you have to be disciplined and build up that consistency to do it often, regularly, because that can go a long way for you. I wrote a book for you, and it's called Wings of Abundance, your strategic guide to uplift and empower you to financial overflow. What this book talks about is, one thing I like to talk about is the financial map. There's 2 points on any map. One is where you are, and the next one is where you want to go. This book, this strategic guide, will help you to determine where you are and where you want to go, and will also help you to bridge the gap. We talk about money mindset. We talk about the application of all the information that you know about finances and all the information that's in this book for you. There's resources in the back of the book. There's bonus information in there. We talk about how to overcome debt, how to build wealth, generational wealth. There's so many different strategies in here that you can utilize for yourself to get you to where you want to be financially. So again, if this is something that sounds interesting to you or anybody you know, because it's written in a language that even teenagers could read it, go ahead and click that link in the description and get yourself a copy. To go along with exercising your discipline, you have to invest for the long term, right? And let me backtrack. What is discipline? Because a lot of people think, and they don't like the word discipline, they think you have to be disciplined forever. It's not about being disciplined forever. It's about moments of exercising your discipline. For example, I go to the gym. On a day where I don't feel like going to the gym, that one moment where where thoughts come in of saying, well, you know what, Kadeem, you can take the day off and so on. That's when I need to exercise my discipline. Once I'm out the door, I'm good. Once I get up or once I've made that decision, I'm good. I don't need to exercise that discipline on a day where I don't have those doubts come in or thoughts come in. On a day where I just get up and go, it's my routine. That's what's normally going to happen. I am normally going to get up and get to the gym because that's what I regularly do. However, those moments of, you know what, I don't really feel like it today. You know, my arm's hurting, my back's hurting. You know, my legs are still sore from that leg day workout. Whatever the case might be, that's when I need to exercise my discipline. It's not something I need to exercise 24/7. It's just in those specific moments, just to clarify, right? So on those moments where you feel like you want to go buy that new item, that new technology, that new phone, buy that new handbag, the new piece of clothing, that's when you need to exercise your discipline. You can do that, buy that new stuff if you want. However, I would encourage you to first think, did I save already out of this paycheck? Did I put my 10% away? Is my emergency fund where I need it to be? Right? How much you want to put aside in terms of your emergency fund, that's really up to you. They say 3 months of expenses, but that's up to you. Now, do you have your emergency fund in place? Did you save your 10% out of this paycheck? And did you put 10% for charity or whatever else you might need to put it towards? Then you can say, you know what? I did all that. I want this new item. Go ahead. You put your money where you needed to put it, and you can now utilize your finances in the way that makes the most sense for you. Once your debt is paid off, by the way. Because if you still have debt, but you're going out to get this new technology, questionable, right? You might not want to do that. But instead of doing that, what you could do is work that new item that you want into your budget. And again, this is where discipline comes in. Work it into your budget to say, you know what? I want this item, but because I'm going to be disciplined and switch my money mindset, I am not going to get it today, but I'm going to put it in my budget to where I can buy it in 2 months or buy it in 3 months, right? So that, you know, this item costs $1,000, I'm going to put away $200 every paycheck, however much you need to get that item, because that's not going to hurt you. You can still take care of your expenses. You can still take care of your savings and your emergency fund and your debt. But now you've worked it into your budget where you can buy this item down the road. And 3 months isn't a long time to wait. All right. So you still get that item and your finances are still taken care of. Best of both worlds. And that being said, that helps you not to dip into your savings or your investments to buy that new item, because this savings or this investment and your emergency fund, those are meant for other things, right? Your emergency fund is meant for an emergency. Your investment is meant for future, right? The far future, whatever long-term goal you set up. You want to buy a house, you want to save for retirement, whatever the case might be. You want to save for when you start your family. That's what that's for. It's not for that vacation, right? So even your vacation, I talked about an item, but if it's a vacation that you're thinking about, put that vacation into your budget and don't take it now. Take it in a few months, right? Or purchase a ticket in a few months, because you're not going to purchase a ticket today because that will affect your finances. So don't dip into your savings to purchase items or to purchase liabilities is the best way to put it. Do not dip into your investments to purchase liabilities. Liabilities are things that take money out of your pocket. They go down in value. You buy a new cell phone today, about a mortgage payment, that's how much they're costing, and it decreases in value pretty much as soon as it hits your hand, right? You go out, you buy a vehicle. Arguably, that's a liability because it depreciates as soon as you drive off the lot. So again, do not take money from your investments for these things, because your investment is meant for something different, but you can budget these items, this vacation, this car. You can work it into your budget and save a certain amount to get to that goal in a certain time frame. And the reason this is so important is because once you set up that budget, you put those items in there, you put that vacation in there, that car, whatever big experience you want to spend on, right? Those items or experiences, you got to stick to that budget now. It's another enticement for you to stick to that budget because you want that vacation, you want that new item. Sticking to your budget is going to help you to make sure your debts are paid, make sure your investments you're still contributing to your investments, you're saving, right? You got your emergency fund set up, and you also now have this vacation or this item or this experience that you're saving towards. This is all a part of your budget. And so guess what? You're going to be more likely to stick to it, I hope. So stick to your budget once you have it set up, because again, there's 2 points on that financial map. You're going to always hear me say this. There's 2 points. One is where you currently are. That second point is where you want to go, right? You are not going to get to your destination if you don't stick to your budget and if you don't exercise discipline when it's required, right? Now, these are important because that financial map, the whole point is to take as few detours as possible, because you want to take the direct route to your financial destination. From where you start to your financial destination, you want to take the most direct road that'll lead you there. You not sticking to your budget is you taking a detour, either left, right. You might go backwards. You're throwing yourself off track. Stick to your budget, stick to the plan that you set in place, and you will ultimately get to your destination. All right, so hopefully this was helpful for you. I know it was for somebody. And if you already are debt-free, feel free to leave it in the comments of strategies or tips you've used to become debt-free. And again, share this out with somebody. I'm looking forward to see those comments, but at the same time, not everybody is debt-free. People need financial information. They're seeking it. So share this out with somebody who you believe could benefit from it. And I'm looking forward to see those comments, to see this video be shared with people, because I would like your feedback, right? Leave it in the comments. Have these videos been helping you, especially this one? Is it benefiting you? Or again, help the community, because if you are debt free, you leave that comment down below, you're going to help somebody who's looking for this information. All right. Appreciate you stopping by. Kadeem here, and I'll see you in the next one.